Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev. It was so wonderful, isn't it? The video. Let's start by chanting Om 3 times. Om. 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 Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Gurudev, a very warm welcome to all of you to this session of listening to a few Guru stories. And this is such a beautiful verse we just now heard, isn't it? All of us have been chanting it. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu. Such a beautiful verse. Aren't you all curious to know where it has come from? Yes. I invite Bharati to share with us where this verse has come from and a small story with this beautiful divine verse.
So, Jai Gurudev, everybody. So the story goes like this, that Shiva was doing his puja one day, and Parvati was watching him perform his puja and meditation, and at the end of it, she saw Shiva bowing down. So now she was very curious. The Lord of the universe, who is he bowing down to? So she waited for Shiva to finish, and then after that, very patiently, she approached him, saying, Lord, I saw something. I saw you bowing down. What is there greater than you that you are bowing down to? So Shiva smiles at her and he says the verse that you heard Didi saying in the promo just now. Naguro radikam, naguro radikam, naguro radikam, naguro radikam. Shivashasanatah, 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 Shivashasanatah. Means by the order of Shiva, there is nothing higher than the Guru. So then Shiva says that it is this Guru principle that I was bowing down to. So then Parvati is even more curious. She wants to know more about the Guru principle, such a principle that even the Lord of the universe bows down to. She wants to know more about it. So then the whole conversation between the Lord and the Devi, the Divine Mother, on the glories of the Guru principle was sung and is called the Guru Gita. So this beautiful verse, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parambrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, is a verse sung by Lord Shiva himself to the Divine Mother. This is the origin. Now, this is such a sweet story, isn't it? So the conversation between the Lord and his consort. Now, what is this Guru principle? Priya will tell you a little more, another nice story that gives you a small little glimpse of, you know, amazing infinite field.
Yeah, so beautiful. The Guru Tattva, the Guru principle, the all-pervading, compassionate, omnipresent, benevolent principle. And how we can connect with that Guru principle is through the form of the Guru. So I'd like to share a beautiful story which has touched my heart, and brought in so much of devotion in me, increased my devotion many, many fold. So many of us are aware Gurudev goes on Adnatvas, um, once a day. So Adnatvas is where he's in a place and with a few devotees and away from all the world and activities of the world. So one such Adnatvas, he was with a few people, and on a drive, he went on a drive. It was in a remote part of India, some villages, and he went on a drive one day, and suddenly he stops the car and tells the person who is with him to go to a hut that was visible nearby. He gave him, I think, about 1,500 rupees and told that person to go. There's a lady in the hut, go and give this money to the woman in the house there. So the boy is, the person is, of course, surprised. Why Gurudev is asking me to give 1,500 rupees? What is it? But when the Guru says, there is deeper and understanding and meaning, so he takes the amount and he goes to the hut. He sees there is a woman there, and she is in front of her prayer room, and she is praying. And she has photos of many gods, and there is also a photo of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. We all know Guru of great Guru of this country. So she's praying to all the gods there and to her Guru there. And when this person goes there, he gives hands over the money to her, and tears of gratitude are flowing down her eyes. She's so grateful, and she tells him that her husband had to undergo a very critical surgery, and the hospital had asked her to deposit the amount that was required for the surgery. She had the amount, but was short of exactly rupees 1,500, and that exact amount was reached to her. Her prayers were answered. That is what she was praying for in her God's room. And she came out running to see who had sent her this money. She came and she met Gurudev and expressed her gratitude to him and fell at his feet. So, as Gurudev says, it does not matter who you pray to. She had a photo of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa Ji in her God's room. She had not met Gurudev so far. So Gurudev always tells us it does not matter who you pray to, but it is your sincerity in prayer, your faith, and your connection which brings you the grace and the blessings. So it is a Guru principle. The principle is the same, across, and we connect with through the form. So such a beautiful story, isn't it? We are so fortunate to have Gurudev Shri Ravi Shankar Ji in form, and we can connect to and experience the grace and the divine blessings. So, this is the turning point in life happens when we meet the Guru. So, Bharathy, I invite you to share some more story for us.
So like Priya said, the turning point happens when you meet the Guru. But turning point for who? Not just, it's not a turning point for just simple people. For example, Valmiki was a dacoit before, till he met his Guru. Narada was his Guru. And the moment he met his Guru, his whole life turned completely. Meera as a princess, and even though she was so devoted to Krishna even as a child, still the transformation and the turning point in her life came when she met Sant Raidas and received her mantra, and she got a guru in her life. So it's whether it's a dacoit or a princess or even the greatest of rishis themselves. For example, the sons of Brahma, the Sanat Kumaras, when they were born with all the knowledge. They were born almost like enlightened beings, knowing everything. They were the pinnacle of dispassion and knowledge, yet they did not feel the completeness, and the story goes that they went searching in all the worlds for their guru. No, and they went here and there, and their mind knew no peace, because their quest was not complete. And then Lord Shiva, in his compassion, appeared to them in the form of a young boy seated under a banyan tree, so radiant. And just seeing him, the four rishis, no, they saw him, they were attracted to his presence, and they went and sitting at the feet of this young boy, so beautiful, so radiant, and in silence, in his silent presence, they felt fulfilled, they felt complete, they had got their guru. And that young boy, radiant form of Lord Shiva, is whom we worship as Lord Dakshinamurti. Hmm. So the glory of the Guru is such that whether you're a greatest of rishis, or a simple dacoit, or a prince, whomsoever you are, Guru bina gati nahi. No? It's like maybe you can say whether you're a tube light or a bulb or a serial light or whatever it is, जब तक इलेक्ट्रिसिटी से connection नहीं हो तब तक where's the glow, you know, whatever you are, the guru is the connection with the guru is the only way to connect to infinity, to connect to yourself. So these verses again, so when you love something, when you feel that deep connection, you want to know more and more about it. You want to know its glories, know its beauty, and that is what the verses of the Guru Gita are all about, isn't it, Priya?
Yes, absolutely so. And as you rightly said, the glories of the Guru can be sung on, and we can go on sharing and listening to so many stories and, soak in that beautiful devotion, grace, and love of the Guru.
When it
So,
comes to singing, you should tell the story of Purandara Dasa also. Who has
oh,
sung
that,
more than him? Priya, you
yes,
should tell that story.
yes, that's such an amazing story. Son Purandara Dasa, who has written more than 450,000 songs in glory of his Lord. So Saint Purandaradasa, he was actually Lord Narada, who was devoted totally to Lord Narayana, and Lord Narayana asked Lord Narada to take birth in India. And so he comes as Srinivasa Nayaka in Karnataka. He's born as Srinivasa Nayaka in Karnataka. And he is born to a very wealthy family who has a business of money lending and, pawnbroking and money lending. And he is married to Lakshmi Bai. So, though so wealthy and so rich, he was a miser of the first order. He was very, very, very miserly and very tight-fisted. But his wife was totally opposite. She was very devoted and to the lot of devotion. She used to pray to Tulsi Mata every day, and she was very, very compassionate and always sharing whatever she had. And seeing his miserliness, and though he has come to the earth and being Lord Narada himself, because of his miserly ways, there was absolutely no progress. It is the Lord comes to him to test him and to bring that change, that turning point in his life. So one day, the Lord comes in the form of an old man to Srinivas Naika, who is a money lender, and asks him for money, saying he wants to conduct his daughter's marriage. So he has nothing to pawn for the money that he takes. And Srinivas Naik says, you must be new in town, because I would never lend money without taking anything, in return. So he sends him off with all disgust and anger. So the poor man, he goes to his house, where he sees uh, Lakshmi Devi, who is praying, and she is in such a benevolent mood that day and wants to do some charity. And she is praying to the Lord to give her an opportunity for charity. Rightly so, she sees this old man who has come, and he asks that he wants to get his daughter's marriage done, and he asks her for some money. So she's so delighted to have an opportunity for charity. She has nothing with her that she could give. So she removes her nose pin. It's a diamond nose pin that she had. And she gives it to the man and says, this will fetch you money. You can go and pawn it in exchange for money. This old man takes it, runs to the money lender, Srinivas Naik, and gives it to him and asks for money. Now Srinivas Naik is shocked to see he recognizes the diamond pin as being that of his wife's, and he is filled with anger at his wife for having parted with it. And all his, miserly thoughts are running. He shuts it in a box, hides it in his safe, and rushes home. And he calls out to his wife angrily and asks her to get the diamond pin. Where is your diamond pin? Your nose looks bare today. Where is the diamond pin? He asks her to get it. Now she is so afraid of her husband's wrath, and she cannot take his anger. So feeling despondent, she thinks the only way out is to end her life. So she prays to the Devi, and pours some poison in a bowl. And she's about to drink it. She hears some clinking sound. And she looks in, she sees her diamond pin, the diamond nose ring, is inside that bowl of poison. Swiftly, she removes it and runs to her husband and gives it to her. Now, he is shocked at seeing the diamond pin. He had locked it in his safe, in his vault, and now she is presenting it to him. So he's shocked. He takes it and rushes to his vault, and he sees that the diamond pin is missing. Then he remembers the old man. She asks his wife to tell the truth, where was the diamond pin? And then she narrates to her husband what had happened and how the old man had come asking for charity, asking for money for his daughter's wedding. He then realizes that old man was none other than the Lord himself, having come to test him and open his eyes, open his fist, and make him, a more sharing, caring person. The shift in him happens when the Lord comes to his life and opens his eyes, the deeper eyes of his mind. So then he gives up everything and wanders all across the country singing the glory of the Lord. He is Saint Purandaradasa. So that shift happens when the Master comes to your life. That's such a beautiful story, and there are so many songs of devotion sung by him, which are even today sung in satsangs in praise.
Yeah. No, all of us in Devi Puja, we hear Bhagyada Lakshmi Baramma. That is a composition of Sri Purandara Dasa only. So such beautiful songs. And it's amazing whether it's we saw how a miser became a great poet, a dacoit became a great saint, even for example, Shivaji Maharaj, we know him to be a king who was never defeated, but what made him so powerful? There's a beautiful story that Gurudev has often shared, where Shivaji Maharaj, when he was very young, perhaps 16 or so, and doesn't want to fight, and he says, why, there is fear in him that, what if he disappoints his people, that this burden is too much for me. I cannot handle this. And he goes to his guru and says, I don't want to do this. Help, I want to take sannyas. I don't want to fight. I don't want to take all this responsibility. So the guru says, okay, you give it to me. And will you do whatever I tell you to? Samarth Ramdas is his guru. So Gurudev has said this story. And he says, give me I will take your kingdom, but will you do what I tell you? So Shivaji Maharaj says, yes, definitely. So he places his crown at the feet of the guru. Now the guru places it back on his head and says, now this is my kingdom, you rule it for me. On my behalf, you take care of it. And now, knowing that he is doing his guru's work, he became so fearless, so courageous, and he was undefeated and so powerful. We all know what a legendary king he was, and this strength came because instead of his response, just the burden of him being the king, he now became the sevak of his master. So the guru's words, the presence of the master in his life, was the turning point that made another king the king, of such a historic person. So it's just amazing what ordinary people become something extraordinary because of the presence of the master in their lives. And the it's not just, and how in different ways this presence is experienced. And even when you sing, for example, what is going to happen if you chant Guru Gita? The simple, we've all experienced when a child laughs or you hear somebody crying, just the sound of the laughter or the crying immediately has an impact on the mind. So these are charged ancient sound vibrations that are part of the verses. Few days back Gurudev was saying the Vedas, these shlokas, they are not in Sanskrit. Sanskrit is derived from this language, from the Vedic syllables. No? So these are ancient sound vibrations that create so much positivity that just chanting them brings up that energy, the sense of the connection with the principle. And you are just enveloped by that positive vibration. It's like you are secure in the womb of the mother, the lap of the divine. That is what it's like, being in the field of the master's presence. And creating that environment around you just happens effortlessly when listening, chanting, and being in that space with the guru. है ना Alva Priya?
Yes, absolutely. That's the good fortune to have a guru and know that you're totally taken care of. And Gurudev always says that, just drop all your problems to me and you relax. And that's a luxury of having a guru in our life. And yeah, we can experience that when we listen to, of course, Guru Gita. And
And the icing on the cake is the fact that we are going to learn it from Bhanu Didi herself. There's another very small, interesting story. Yeah, we have time, no? Few minutes, yeah. So, there's a place called Sahasralinga, again in Karnataka only. In near a place called Sirsi, where Pitaji used to have his project also over there, about 2 kilometers from there. So there are a lot of Swayambhu lingas in around and within the Netravati river that flows over there. So the story goes that Krishna tells the Pandavas to do the Rajasuya Yaga, and in order to perform the yaga, there's a special horse, a very magical mystical being called the Pushpamriga, that Krishna says that you bring that horse and we will complete the yajna successfully. So Bhima is the one so strong, all very brave and so strong nobody can defeat him. He says, I will go and bring the horse. And so he takes a few things with him. He goes there. Now this horse tells him that I will come with you, but you must keep up with me. Now this horse, they say, travels at manoveka, the speed of the mind, so fast. So he says, you must keep up with me. If you can't keep up, then I won't come with you. You either keep up or you reach before me, then I will follow you and do what you say. So now Bhima is all, very confident of his strength. He says, yes, yes, definitely, let's go. So he goes for some time, but after that he gets tired and he's wondering what to do. Like, how do I keep up? Where will I, get the strength? I need to rest. Even Bhima could not manage. And when he was thinking of what to do, he remembered, he at a previous incident, you must all know the story of when Bhima met Hanuman in the guise of an old monkey, and Bhima could not even lift his tail. So, in that story, at the end of it, Hanuman embraces Bhima and gives him a gift of a tuft of his hair from the tail and says, you keep this. When you need it, it will be of help to you. So Bhima's like, what will I do with a tuft of hair from the tail of a monkey? But nevertheless, it's Hanuman's gift. He keeps it respectfully. So he remembers that now, and but he doesn't know what to do. So he takes one hair and just throws it down, and that hair turns into a Shivalinga. So as soon as the Shivalinga comes, the Pushpamriga sees it and stops to pray. So Bhima is so relieved, like, oh, thank God. So while the being is praying, he rests a little bit and now he has energy to go again. And like this, he goes for some time, but he really becomes so tired that even with that little rest, he is unable to follow. And it comes a point where he just throws all the hair, whatever is left, he just throws it down. And thousands of them are there, and so many lingas come everywhere. Now this Pushpamriga is so happy, so many Shivalingas, and and it stops to pray to each one because Shiva is its Ishta. It's very happy. Now Bhima gets all the time in the world. He rests very well, and by the time that this Pushpamriga is praying to one linga after the other, he rushes and reaches the Yagashala also. So then now the being follows him and they complete the yaga very successfully. Now, this is a nice story, but what was amazing about this is now this being, this horse that runs at Manovega, is symbolic of our mind. Now, Bhima is so strong, has all the prowess, yet the running, racing mind is very difficult to keep up with it, and it really tires you. And how can you get some rest and respite is only when the mind is established in the divine, established in the self. That is when you can rejuvenate. So every time you meditate, you feel much better, brighter, rejuvenated, and you're able to go back into the world of activity. And so like this is how Bhima manages to reach. Now what is the symbolism of the hair? No? So Hanuman is the embodiment of devotion. And here the story shows us that even the company of a hair from the tail of a devotee is enough to kindle the spark of devotion and enough to take the mind and make it centered in its source. So the company, they say it's three things are very rare to get. One is the human body, and then the interest in spirituality, and beyond that, the company of the wise. Having received a master is the greatest blessing, and receiving that sangat, the company of great devotees, is like a blessing without comparison. And here now, Priya,
Absolutely, Bharti. Such a
what
beautiful story and with so much meaning You cannot, however strong we are physically, you cannot control the mind, and the mind has to settle only when it has the divine or the guru, and they can help to settle the mind. So beautiful. And rightly, as you said, who better to hear it but from Bhanu Didi, who is the inspiration for devotion. She's the epitome of devotion, having followed Gurudev right from birth and showing us by example how to be in the presence of Guru and the devotion. So listening to her, the verses of Guru Gita, it's such a wonderful and amazing opportunity, and we are all waiting for it, and more so during the time of Gurudev's birthday. It's a beautiful way to soak in devotion, in grace, in gratitude. Bharti, isn't it? We must encourage all of us to join and listen to the Guru Gita from Bhanu Didi herself.
Yeah, and those of us who are watching on Facebook and YouTube, there is a link in the description. So, pinned to your whatever you're watching, so you can use that link to register. Yeah, and those of you who are on the app, anyways, there will be a slide which gives you the instructions of where you can be a part of it. And even as we approach that special day, May Tera, uh, May 13th, there's a series of amazing Guru Story sessions that we will be hearing. We can give you a sneak peek into that. For example, there's one session on the unreasonable guru. There's one session on the guru of rebels. There's a session on the master of confusion. There's a session on the Guru Mandala. What is the Guru Mandala? There's so many very, very interesting and beautiful session with lovely insights. And I hope you all will join us time and again as we go together on this journey celebrating gratitude for having a master in our life. And you, all those of you who are here on Zoom with us, you can get more and more, make, Sange Shakti Kali Yuge, and the more the merrier. You can invite everyone to be part of this celebration. So thank you so much for being with us today.
And also, it's so nice that birthday is a time for gifts. And as we attend the sessions of Guru Gita with Bhanu Didi, we will also be receiving the book, An Intimate Note to Sincere Seeker, and the book Gurudev on the Plateau of the Peak, written by Bhanu Didi. And it's such a good fortune to be receiving those books along with listening to Guru Gita from Bhanu Didi. It's a
And with
wonderful opportunity not to be missed, isn't it, Bharti?
yes, gift after gift. Yeah. The latest one. Someone's asking, is it the latest or the old one? Knowledge is always the latest. It's never, it's ancient and ever new. Like the Ganga. That's why, Gyan Ganga kehte hain. The water, the Ganga is ancient, yet every moment the water in it is fresh and new. So knowledge is also like that, ancient and ever new. Mm. So Jai Gurudev. Thank you so much.
Jai Gurudev.
Is the live ended?